we have come to the top of a hill in this woodland, and this view is incredible. Look at that sunrise through the trees. A rule of life that I've come to understand is that the bigger, the better. If you want to suck carbon dioxide out of the atmosphere, a bigger tree will do a better job. And if you're hungry and you go to a restaurant, a bigger meal will fill you up better. And if you're going to the back country and doing some off-roading, a big car is best. Equally, for wildlife photography, a big lens is best. Yes, that's right. That's why we have the Sigma 150 to 600 millimeter lens with us today. On this tree up here, there's a bunch of blue tits. Now, I've taken some photos, and you may have noticed the way I've positioned myself. The tree is in full sunlight and the sun is rising behind me. With a long lens like this, you need to think about lighting first, because getting bright light is the key to getting high quality photos. I think we've just got some absolutely awesome photos, and we've only just started, so boy, I'm excited. It's been a long time since the sun's come out. We've had a very gloomy winter so far, and although it's freezing, the sun is giving us perfect lighting for wildlife photography. I have a robin just in front of me. Actually gonna lie down on the floor. Okay. Now we should be able to get some eye level photos of this robin, which will be really cool. So the robin's currently sitting up on a bush. When he comes down to the ground, we're gonna get some sick shots. That was so cool. I kid you not, the robin came after like 20 seconds of me lying down, so it wasn't even that uncomfortable. And the bokeh you can get in the foreground when you're down on the ground at the level of the bird is insane. Now, my camera settings, I had a shutter speed of about 800 to start with, and then lowered it down to about 400. This is because I had the stability of the ground. The camera was literally resting on the ground, and so it was like having a tripod, and that lower shutter speed meant there was also a lower ISO, less grain in the image, which was nice. I've just seen a couple of pheasants over there. They're 100% gonna fly off when I get close. I spotted from the other side of this field, there's a few pheasants in one of these trees in front of me. They're down on the ground in the field, but they kind of ran into some longer grass. I've got closer than I thought I could get, and I'm now crouched down in the grass to make myself a smaller profile so the wildlife isn't so scared of me. And I'm hoping if I wait here long enough, the pheasants will come out thinking that I've passed. And although we never got the photo of the pheasant that we wanted, I'm still going to show you that part of the journey, because on this channel my goal is to bring you realistic, relatable wildlife photography content. So if that sounds like something you want to see more of, then hit that subscribe. Although it's super sunny today, yesterday was pretty much torrential rainfall, and the river has burst its banks, and that means this next part of the walk, which is normally very muddy anyway, I'm expecting to be incredibly muddy, like almost impassable muddy. This is actually ridiculous. There's a literal waterfall here. The river is flowing across the path. That is crazy, and that's only one. There's about 4 more of them up the path. One of you guys asked me, what is my favourite feature about the Sigma 150 to 600mm lens? And the answer is pretty simple. This lens has stabilisation. The stabilisation in this lens is incredible. When you're zooming in to 600mm, that is a huge amount of zoom, and when you're doing wildlife photography, you're often shooting small birds and small subjects. Not only that, but there's 3 modes. You can have general stabilization, you can have lateral stabilization, I believe it's called, if you're moving the camera in a panning movement, and you can turn stabilization off if you're using the camera on a tripod. That makes it really helpful when you're taking photos, but also doing video. And if you're looking to stabilize more than your lens, in fact, stabilize your temperature when you go out on freezing winter days. You may have noticed this super warm and comfy beanie on my head. This is one of my own handmade, authentic British beanies. You can buy these on my Etsy shop. The link will be in the description, and you can go and get updates on my Instagram shop. There I run offers and sales, so go follow my Instagram. You also get a bunch more extra content that I don't put on YouTube. And there's a mallard duck on the river just behind me. And although a mallard duck is a pretty common bird in the UK, it's a bird which most people overlook. He was in the bright sunlight cleaning in the water, and then he's doing it again. He flapped his wings, and I caught the moment as his wings were fully elongated in front of his body, and you could see the iridescent blue patch on the wing with his green head. And hey, for a very common species, I think we got a pretty epic photo. And we got some more. In this tree behind me, we got some long-tailed tits, and they were right up at the top of the tree. They were isolated against the blue sky. There were not too many branches in the way, with the sun lighting them up. The long-tailed tits are such a cute little bird. They're so round, and the fact they've got a long tail just makes them look even rounder because it's disproportionate. And oh, I'm so happy. That was such a great photo. Literally, the duck is still behind me. I didn't move. And we got another photo. The wildlife is popping off today, and maybe it's because the wildlife knows it's good weather. The wildlife is happy. The wildlife photographer's happy. Can it get any better? And although the sun was behind the robin, I moved to a position where I could use it as a backlight. And the sun, instead of lighting up the robin, was lighting up a vibrant green background. We got some pretty cool photos of a robin just then, and here they are.